Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking about the big changes coming for Rust Console Edition in the very near future. And no, we're not talking about Horsepocalypse, although that is amazing, and the transportation is everything you thought it would be and so much more. And the stability has been fantastic. But what I'm talking about are the monument changes and what that could mean for us for Rust Console Edition, or a nice indicator that's going to be in the horizon, just over the crest of the hill there. So let's talk about it. We are talking about Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. So as I said, Horsepocalypse has been fantastic. It's brought in a lot of very great little updates here and there, things they didn't really note. We have like the NPC mission givers that have been happening. We've got the ability to like sharks. We have the ability to use the harpoon gun and stuff like that. On top of that, we have that stability, that all ever important stability that we've been looking for, and that's extremely important that that is maintained. But in addition to that, there were a lot of monument changes. So let's see if I can remember this. So there was airfield, sewer branch, satellite dish, and train yard. Yes, big changes. So let me walk in here. I'm going to start melting a little bit, but I think it's a nice indication as to what's to come for us. Now, as you walk in here, you can see that they are now on concrete slabs. For the most part, the puzzle still has the same elements. Some of the monuments have some modified locations, but for the most part, the puzzles should stay the same. I think the biggest change is probably Trainyard, and then the second biggest change would be satellite dish. And we're going to talk about why that's so important. But I do think that this is not only a nice visual upgrade, but I think it's adding performance, and we definitely need things like that over for the core systems. But it's good for everybody across the board. Okay, so let me wreck myself here and go over to the satellite dish. And I think this has a better layout so we can kind of see this here. So what am I talking about? Like, what else is this on the horizon, right? Well, I think it could be two major things here. I think it could either be the subway system. That's right, the one that goes underground that has the train cars, the new faction, loot, basically a whole underground system that connects everything, and there's terminals that go up at each of the monuments. That's definitely a possibility, and I think that's a possibility because the underground only renders what's underground, not what's on the surface. So as far as performance is concerned, because we're always worried about that lowest common denominator, which is the core systems, of course, but I think it's definitely possible. And there's also an indication that the railroad system and the work carts are kind of in this in-between state for the train yard. The train yard is in this like hybrid state between PC version now and like our old version of train yard, but you can definitely see that there's going to be a slot for the train to pull in because there's actually an extra part of that monument. They updated it. I think was it this year or it was late last year? I can't remember. Anyways, that's very exciting to see. But what I think is more likely that's going to happen for this. Oh, by the way, pause that idea for a second. There was also an addition of scientists throughout some of the monuments. Let's see if I get this right. I want to say airfield has some, and there is definitely some at Trainyard for sure. They're going to light you up. So when you're going in there doing a puzzle and they start popping you, don't be surprised, right? Or you will be surprised, and I'll be like, I told you. Okay, so to go back to the next big piece, which I think is the most likely piece for this change here, which is, again, why I'm so excited for Horsepocalypse. I mean, yes, the horses are fantastic, but I mean, like, think about this. Like, if we get subway tunnels or we get things like modular vehicles, I'm going to lose my mind, right? So anyways, on the topic of modular vehicles, I really think that's what this is for. These elevated pieces here, the satellite dish, didn't get elevated until a little bit after those modular vehicles to help with the transportation. They also modified the map with a ring road system, which we got on the last major update, which again, very good indicators that things are moving in that direction. We also currently have electricity, which is a dependency for modular vehicles. Horses being stable, and if they maintain this stability and you had like a fast horse, I think it's pretty equivalent to a very fast modular vehicle. So if all those things can maintain, then I think it's a very good candidate for the very near future. Now, will we get it this year? Probably not. Do I hope that we do? Yes. But these monuments getting those sweeping changes is definitely a step in the right direction. And you can even see up here, let me see if I can kind of stand up here. You can even see a parking lot here for things like modular vehicles. You can actually pull up on here. You can also do it with horses as well, but it was very specifically designed for modular vehicles, which is great. And I do like this version of the satellite dish, by the way. Can I just put that out there? I like it. I think it adds more verticality, and it makes the monument itself like a smaller footprint, which I think is very important because our maps are getting quite cluttered with monuments, which is a good thing. but I think having a tighter footprint is definitely good. So yeah, with the advent of the Horsepocalypse update, which in its own right is a fantastic update, these little sneaky updates that have been happening, these indicators that are happening over at Bandit Camp, and now with this, with the monuments, and the potential for things like the subway system or even those modular vehicles, I'm out of my mind excited for this game. I'm excited for the more immediate update, but also like what's coming. And then we have like custom servers. Like, dude, my head's gonna explode. This is fantastic. So as I said, very excited for this. If you guys are looking for a nice starter base for a solo, duo, bunker base, whether you're on main branch or even you'd like to have a place to tuck away your horses, we have that barn bunker wedge base. It should already be up on the end screen now, and hopefully you guys like this. And if you see the badge is on live, come by and say hi, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye. Oh, I just got digged by the cactus.